Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm here to talk about one stock in particular that I think is going to rise a lot very soon and you need to get in right now. This is a restaurant company. This is one that is very cheaply valued. It's one that's looking pretty good. So if you do enjoy this video, all I ask is that you do smash that like button. If it takes 2 seconds out of your day, I'd really appreciate it if we smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys for watching. So the stock we were talking about today, let's get right into it, is Cake. Ticker symbol CAKE. This is Cheesecake Factory. You're probably thinking right now, why the hell would I invest in Cheesecake Factory? This is why. You're not investing in Cheesecake Factory. You are, but you're also investing in, unbeknownst to you probably, you're investing in North Italia, as we see right here. You're investing in Fox Restaurant Concepts and this other actually includes Flower Child brand. So Flower Child brand is another genre, or not another genre, another restaurant that Cheesecake Factory has. And it's looking pretty good for Flower Child. It's looking pretty good for North Italia, and Cheesecake Factory stock is still under a 20 price to earnings ratio. So this is just one, kind of indicator that Cheesecake Factory stock is probably going to rise. They're a very cheap company. But I mean, if we, compare this to other companies like Wingstop, I mean, Cheesecake Factory's growth rates aren't as high, but Cheesecake Factory's growth rates aren't as high. Flower Child, North Italia, they're pretty damn high. So we have 57 for Wingstop's PE. So if you times Cake's stock price by 3 right now, they'd be at the same PE. Exactly the same. So, and then let's check out Texas Roadhouse. Where is that? Oh yeah, Texas Roadhouse. Let's see right here what they're at. Their PE ratio is 26, so not much higher, but a good amount higher. And then let's just check Chipotle just for the hell of it, because these are all stocks that are very similar to Cheesecake Factory in the same exact space. It's double what Cheesecake Factory is. So Cheesecake Factory is, relatively a very cheap stock. This is a stock that is very undervalued in my opinion, and we're going to get into that right now on why. So this is their investor presentation. This is Cheesecake Factory's release of their earnings. This is why you should, or no, this actually isn't an earnings release. This is just an investor presentation. But this highlights everything that Cheesecake Factory has. So we see they have 216 Cheesecake Factory locations, with which they've been building since 1972. So they've been building these locations for a long time. They IPO'd in 1992, so the stock's been around for a while. Their ticker is Cake, which gives the false impression that you are solely investing in Cheesecake Factory, which is not true. They have international locations. Their revenue is more than their market cap. For a company with not a huge amount of overhead, it's pretty good. And then we see they have 216 Cheesecake Factory locations, 46 North Italia, 42 Flower Child, and 52 Fox Restaurant Concepts locations. So the Cheesecake Factory is a great part of their business, I think. But I don't think that's the one that we're investing in this for. I mean, Cheesecake Factory is going to do what it's going to do. Over the long term, that's what's going to happen. Cheesecake Factory is going to be Cheesecake Factory. They're going to, drive the highest amount of volume. Their moderate average check is $31. It's great to see. So Cheesecake Factory is going to do what it's going to do. It's whatever. We're investing in Cheesecake Factory stock for North Italia and for Flower Child and their Fox Restaurant Concepts. So North Italia, the average check is the mid-30s for lunch and the mid-40s for dinner. Very good average check. There's potential for 200 domestic locations over time. This is the same size as Cheesecake Factory, and the average check is bigger. You're basically just doubling Cheesecake Factory, which already makes a lot of money. And they're averaging 20%, or they're targeting 20% average annual unit growth. And there is a very attractive return profile and sales growth on this. I very, very much do agree with that, with what Cheesecake Factory is saying. And then Flower Child, this is the big thing. Potential for 700 locations. A differentiated concept in the growing fast casual dining segment. So far, they have 42 locations in 15 states, and they're also targeting 20% average annual unit growth. And then I really like just Flower Child as a whole. I mean, their concept. I really like North Italia too. Don't get me wrong, but Flower Child, they're focusing on healthier foods, and they're giving that healthy look, that healthy presentation. and that's gonna grow, I think, a lot over the next couple years, couple decades. It's gonna gain in popularity very fast. And then we have Fox Restaurant Concepts. So we see their revenue is actually 300 million. So this isn't nothing. But these are really just restaurants that they're testing out. Look at right here. These are all the Fox Restaurant Concepts. They have Doughbird, Blanco, and then Wildflower, American Cuisine. They have Arrogant, Butcher, The Greenhouse, Olive and Ivy, Flyby, Zinburger, The Henry. So there's a lot of different restaurants that they have, on the Fox Restaurant Concepts. But this is the most important graph that you're going to see this video, I think. So their global footprint is Cheesecake Factory. That's what built this company. That's what the stock is called. Their national expansion, North Italia and Flower Child, we know that. They're testing growth on 3 more. So I think eventually Cheesecake Factory is going to be this conglomerate across the world that just owns, an insane amount of restaurants, because as they keep testing these restaurants and getting more successful ones, it's just Cheesecake Factory is going to own so many restaurants over time that it's just going to become, almost, I don't want to say a monopoly, but it's going to be hard to get into the restaurant space because there's players like Cheesecake Factory who owns so many. They're testing growth in Culinary Dropout, Blanco, and the Henry. And then they also have boutique brands, which have a few locations. They have, this isn't even Flower Child, this is Wildflower, pretty similar, but they have a lot of different brands right here you see as well. So there's a lot of different locations for them to choose from. But you see they're also accelerating unit growth, as many as 25 new units in 2025. They're opening more Cheesecake Factories, because why not? But they only opened 2. But then you see North Italia, they're opening 4 all across the US. And then you see in Flower Child, they're opening 6. And then you see these that they're testing growth on. They opened 2 more in Culinary Dropouts, 1 Blanco, and then 2 of the Henry. So it is, I like how they're testing growth in these other ones too. That's going to make for, a pretty hard thing to beat. And then we see their strong sales growth. So we do have growth in all of these segments right there. They're still in the early stages. But then we also see the highlights here. Their total revenue is up 6%. Their adjusted EBITDA is 100 million. These numbers aren't as important as the concept, I think. And we see like the new unit growth targets are pretty insane. 20% unit growth is pretty crazy. To do that year over year, if they can do that, then Cheesecake Factory is going to the moon, and I think they are already. But then look at their future revenue opportunities. So they're saying that their revenue is going to grow $5 billion. So that's more than double the company's revenue right now, and then their PE ratio is going to be higher. There's a lot of things that are going to happen when that revenue does grow, like how they say it's going to grow. So another restaurant I wanted to see is a bullish thesis on Cheesecake Factory. Value investing, very true. So we see that Take was trading at $49 as of this. Cake is $64 now. So this is a little bit ago. This guy knew something that nobody else did, besides, if you watched earlier videos of mine. But we see Cheesecake Factory is deeply misunderstood. That's the key word for this video, misunderstood. Why is their ticker symbol cake, and why does it just say Cheesecake Factory? I think they do need to rebrand in that aspect, and it's going to garner a lot of attention from investors, and then from there it's over. So we see in fiscal year 2024, Cake generated $3.5 billion in revenue and $121.4 million in GAAP net income. So beyond its flagship Cheesecake Factory brand, the company owns North Italia and Flower Child, we know that, and then Fox Restaurant Concepts. And those brands are now central to the company's future. This is very true. Cheesecake Factory is great, but it's not what's going to make this company, grow the way it's growing. So North Italia posts 7.6% same-store sales growth in quarter 4, and Flower Child also reporting positive comps. This is truth. Both are capital efficient and poised for expansion, yet still underappreciated by the market. Cake is currently valued at just $2.49 billion with a forward PE of 13.6 and a trailing PE of 15.7. So the price to earnings ratio on this is just insanely low. Especially for the opportunity and growth for this company, it's just insane to me that their price to earnings ratio is under 20. I think that this is all due to their branding and people just not knowing about it. I think that's literally it. Because you see right here, Cheesecake Factory, it's on a tear. But I think it would be on more of a tear if it was called, I don't know what they'd call it, but just not Cheesecake Factory as as a whole. I think that they need to come up with something that is a, parent brand for all of these restaurants combined, and then people are going to check it out and be like, oh shoot, Cheesecake Factory did a rebrand. Let's see what they have. Let's see what's going on. And then, oh, you know what I mean? So I think that that does need to happen for the stock to kind of explode. I think people will catch on, as it is. Why not? But I think that for the stock to explode, in a couple days and a couple weeks for it to, genuinely explode, then I think that it does need to hit that, there needs to be a rebrand that happens with this company. But I think that it is still going to steadily increase until they do that. And I wouldn't wait for them to do that to invest. I'd definitely get in before, because I think even if they never do that, this stock's going to gain traction eventually. I think that would just speed up the process. But you're up 76% in a year, not including the almost 2% dividend. So you can't complain that much. You know what I mean? It's hard to really complain that much. But you see also the past 5 years, it's been great, even though it rose and dropped like the same amount. And then you see all time another, this great company. But yeah, guys, that's all I have for today's video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to smash the like button. Light that up for me. Also, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. If you do want to see more videos like this, I do post daily. And if I do miss a day, then I'm coming back the next day. And yeah, so I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace.